sorry, but Mr. Madison told me he was leaving the house in just a few minutes.
Excuse me, but it's very important that we talk to Mr. Madison.
Maybe you could come back later.
Look, perhaps you didn't understand us. This is a police matter.
Look, tell Mr. Madison that Steve Guthrie is here. I'm sure he'll talk to us.
Well, all right.
It's been a long time since I've been here. Seems like a year since Paige had all that trouble.
Right. And now look at her. She's a movie star, right?
Yeah, well, why don't we wait until the movie comes out, huh?
You didn't get to see any of it, did you?
No, just the set. That was the time that the chandelier fell and clipped.
Right. Well, it's all ashes now, and the only one getting clipped is the insurance company.
Steve. Hello. Hello, Owen. I'm sure you remember Calvin Stoner.
Of course I do. It's nice to see you.
How do you do?
Is this a condolence call? Afraid I'm a little bit of a hurry.
No, as a matter of fact, it's about the fire out at the studio.
Oh, what about it?
Well, there's been a police investigation, Mr. Madison. We just recently got our preliminary reports back. Fortunately, it didn't take long to find out what happened out there.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure the insurance company are going to want to find out.
Well, I don't know how happy you are going to be about the conclusion. It looks like a case of arson.
Arson?
Yes, the fire was set deliberately.
Which would,
and that's why it's become a police matter.
Which would mean that Eddie Vaughn's death is a homicide. The fire was started by an amateur. That's why it was so easy to spot.
You see, most people think that everything in a fire gets reduced to ashes, but that just is not the case. Our man found a gasoline can quite intact. Obviously, it had been used to help spread the flames.
This is just incredible. I mean, why would anyone want to do that?
Steve, Calvin, what are you guys doing here?
Well, Paige, Brian.
hello.
Listen, you're just not going to believe this. Steve told me that someone has deliberately set fire to the soundstage.
Oh, come on. Where'd you get that idea?
It's not an idea, Brian. It's a verified fact.
The studio was insured, was it not?
Well, yes, of course it was insured. What are you saying? That we set the fire to collect a few lousy grand? Is that it?
Well, the insurance company says that you were insured for 35 lousy grand, and that was just the building. You had a separate policy for the equipment.
Well, it's just not true. Come on, Steve. I mean, you honestly think that I'd set a torch to my own place?
Steve, you know Daddy wouldn't do anything like that.
Look, this picture cost us over $1 million to make. Now, why would we want to set the place on fire?
Wait a minute, please. Now, we're not here to make any accusations against anybody. We want you to know the facts, the same that the insurance company will know. And the most important thing that we're concerned about is the fact that a man died in the fire.
All right. Okay. Detective Stoner, you said that you found a gas can in the place.
That's right, and not the kind of thing you'd keep around a movie set, unless, of course, you were running a lawnmower or something.
A lawnmower.
Look, Steve, are you guys really sure you're right? I mean, my mother and Eddie Vaughn were the only two people at the place when it started fire.
It doesn't make any sense.
Look, we aren't drawing any conclusions about what happened out there. The place may have been set up for a burning, and they may have just accidentally caused the spark that started it.
Eddie was killed in the fire. You can't accuse him of...
all right. Just hold it a minute. I guess there's something that I better tell you.
What was that?
It's about Eddie. It's about the things that he was doing.
What do you mean, Dad?
Brian, you remember that story that Eddie told us when he first came here with the screenplay about all the terrible things that were happening to the people who had tried to make mention of the dam before?
Yeah, the curse business, yeah.
Right.
And the people that were all killed on the
Uh-huh, and the fire that burnt down the building when they were filming the first time.
You don't expect us to believe that the devil is responsible for this.
Or the ghost of Hester Atherton.
Steve, just listen to me, will you? All the things that happen in our production, and I mean all the things, the ghosts, the tripwires, the slide projections. I hate to say this, but they were Eddie's responsibility.
What?
You mean even the chandelier that fell on Steve?
Yes, I'm terribly sorry about that, Steve. I really am. But after you were injured and Deborah found out, well, of course, I had to go straight...
Wait a minute, excuse me, what did you just say?
Well, no, listen, don't blame Deborah for not telling you this before. Now, this was my doing. She didn't want to give Eddie away for my sake because she thought it might hurt the film.
You mean Eddie concocted all this cursed stuff, and Deborah knew about it.
Yes. And then she told me about it the next day.
Yeah, I know. She went out to the studio.
And, Steve, I'm telling you, I went straight to Eddie and made him swear to me that there would be no more of these damn publicity stunts.
And he just didn't keep his promise, is that it?
I guess it.
And you think that Eddie started this fire at the studio just for publicity, right?
Well,
And was trapped in his own fire. Eddie would not be that foolish.
Oh, my God. Steve, Calvin said that gasoline was used in this fire, right?
Yes. Why?
Because, oh, damn it, I saw Eddie putting a can of gasoline into the trunk of his car just a couple of days ago.
Oh, why don't you come and pick me up? Because I'm expecting Dr. Lennox any minute now. Huh. I hope he's as cute as his picture.
Lennox. Why is that name so familiar? Oh, I know. I saw an ad for that book of his in one of those medical journals. The Madness Among Us?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounded like he had some interesting things to say.
Well, I just hope he can make them short and sweet, because unfortunately I've only got about 2.5 minutes to give him tonight.
Oh, well, you better lay down the ground rules for him, because some of us medical types can be long-winded when we start in on our favorite topics. I know I am.
Wait a minute, what's your favorite topic?
You.
Oh, great. Well, come on over and tell me all about myself over dinner, and why don't you kind of hurry up, too, because I have this terrible desire to kiss you.
I'm halfway out the door.
Okay, bye-bye. Involutional psychosis, schizophrenia, paranoia, manic depression. My God.
I really appreciate this, you know. Everyone tells me that the best way to sell a book is to talk about it on television.
Well, I can't promise you a bestseller, but, you know, I really am fascinated by this book. I've been reading it for the past hour.
I'm flattered. The truth is, I've been on television before with my last book, but unfortunately, the person who interviewed me never bothered to read anything but the blurb on the jacket.
Well, I haven't quite finished it yet, but I think I grasp the concept. The idea is that people should learn to recognize the symptoms of mental illness so that they can help other people.
And themselves.
Well, can people who are emotionally ill know that they're ill?
They're usually the first to know. But unfortunately, they may not always recognize the signs as mental illness. They may blame circumstances, or other people, or the government, for that matter.
You know, this chapter I thought was especially interesting. We might be able to talk about this. How you recognize the symptoms.
Yeah, well, I hope that chapter isn't misunderstood. Because there was a review in a psychiatric journal which stated that I was treading on dangerous ground, asking laymen to become judges of neurotic or psychotic behavior. That isn't my intention, of course. I just think that, well, if we can educate people about warning signs for cancer or heart disease and so forth, why not teach them the signs of mental disorder?
It sounds very good to me.
It's just like other diseases, Miss Drake. Early detection helps the cure.
But not all emotional illness can be cured, can it?
Not all cases, no. You see, we just don't know enough yet. Schizophrenia, for instance, that's the most widespread
That's very difficult to cure, isn't it?
Well, there used to be a lot of pessimism about it, but not anymore. There are many kinds of new treatment, including drug therapy.
You know, there's one area that you don't really go into in your book in much depth, the causes.
Well, there are hundreds of books on psychology. I'm only concerned with recognition.
Is it true that mental illness can be inherited?
Well, many authorities believe schizophrenia is, since it tends to run in families. However, many believe that only the predisposition may be inherited, that environmental factors are just as important.
Oh, I see. Yeah?
Dr. Lennox here? They want him in makeup.
Well, Doctor, you are wanted.
The things I do for medicine.
Yeah.
See you on camera, Miss
Sure.
Drake. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, where was I? One of the reasons so many of us are slow in detecting mental abnormality is that some forms of schizophrenia, such as paranoia, are often characterized by apparently logical systems of false beliefs. The victim may be of high intelligence and therefore able to create a highly plausible structure for his delusions. Yeah?
There. Where's that kiss I was promised?
Oh, it's right here.
You see, that was worth breaking the speed limit for.
Oh, you didn't.
Who, me? With an MD on my license plate? I was tempted. You about ready to go?
Yeah, well, almost. I have that interview to do with Dr. Lennox. It'll just take 15 minutes.
All right. I'll wait around here, and then we'll go out and have a nice dinner by candlelight. How about that?
That sounds terrific.
Oh, is that the book? We get to keep it? I kind of like to read it.
Sure, I'll remember to bring it home autographed. You know, it's really a good book. I've been reading it for the past hour.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to read carloads of books on this subject. I suppose you know why.
Because of your mother?
Yeah, sure. I was trying to figure out what her illness was all about.
Did you?
What, at that age? No, not really.
Well, you did find out what it was, didn't you? I mean, the name.
Sure, I found out the name for all the good that did me. Schizophrenia.
Yeah?
All ready for you, Miss Blake.
Oh, good, coming. Oh, honey, I need the book. Okay.
See you later.
Okay, thanks, Armando. Yeah, I knew I could count on you. Listen, we'll be there. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
We'll be there in about, let's say, about 15 minutes. How's that? Okay, good. Fine. All right, we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Well, that's no problem. He can still sit us.
Good.
Sorry I'm so late. Couldn't be helped. It was, in fact, you can thank your friend Steve.
Steve.
Huh? He and Calvin dropped by to see me this evening. It seems that the police have found evidence that it was Eddie who set fire to the soundstage.
What? Oh, Owen, come on, I don't believe that.
Well, I'm afraid it's true. The only thing is that he didn't mean to kill himself in the process. Poor Eddie. Oh, boy. I'm telling you, I guess he just figured it was some sort of publicity stunt, huh? For Mansion of the Dam, the final last testament of Hester Atherton.
Owen, you said that he promised never to do things like that.
Maybe he thought that I'd never find out.
To burn down a whole soundstage?
Well, he knew that the place was insured, and I had no earthly use for it at all once the movie was over with. I certainly can't sell it. There's nobody around here in Monticello who makes movies.
You know this for a fact.
I'm afraid it's pretty obvious. You see, Brian said that he saw Eddie put a gas can into the trunk of his car. Something that Eddie doesn't do too often. The can came from our garage.
I don't believe this.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Steve knows about Eddie's tricks?
Well, I had to tell him the whole story. Well, Deborah, otherwise I'm going to be a suspect myself, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want that, would you?
Well, what do you expect me to do? Just cancel the whole trip to California and stay here and fight an arson charge with an attempt to defraud?
Oh, so you're planning on going to California?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, well, I guess you have to, don't you? You wouldn't want the movie to suffer because of that.
Well, it's got to be finished, you know. It's got to be edited. It's got to be sold. There are a lot of people that are depending on this. Only one problem is I have to go about 2,000 miles away from you.
Well, it's not forever.
Well, I don't know how long it's going to be for. Could be weeks, could be months. Deborah, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to survive without you.
You will survive, Owen.
Oh, sure. Maybe I'll be lucky, huh? Maybe find myself an editor, make a nice little distribution deal. A couple of weeks based on a rough cut, huh?
Look, just do what you have to do.
Okay.
Owen, look, I know how important this movie is to you.
Deborah, it's not important to me. Look, it's important to Nola. It's important to Brian, to Paige. It's not important to me. Don't you understand that? What's important to me is you.
Look, I think we just better get outside and get some fresh air and have a little drink and some dinner, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all right? I didn't mean to be selfish here. Look, I don't want to use you as a crutch, all right?
Oh, I don't mind. Owen. Honestly. I like being needed. I really do. It's a feeling that I never get with Steve. Never mind. Let's go.
Okay. I need you.
You sure I can't get you more than just this?
Oh, Lillian, this is just fine, thank you.
You two ought to eat more hot food.
Don't be so maternal, Lillian.
Well, if I was your mama, I wouldn't let you get away with eating the way you do.
Thank you, Lillian. Where is Mom, Paige? I haven't seen her all evening.
Oh, I haven't any idea, but, she might be at the chapel with Uncle Eddie.
Oh, that's one thing I'm not looking forward to. A funeral.
Well, it's hardly my idea of a good time either. Lillian, didn't you say something about coffee?
It should be ready by now.
What are we going to tell her?
About what?
When this whole household moves away next week. Mom and Dad and I to California, and you off to where, Paige?
I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly not going to stay in this house by myself. I thought I might stay with Deborah for a while and then look for a job.
Chances are Mom and Dad won't be coming back to Monticello.
Why do you say that?
Well, if the picture is a success, Mom's not going to want to isolate herself here anymore. Monticello is exile for her, Paige. Maybe the same is true of Dad.
You're probably right. I mean, once the movie is released, I might want to stay in Beverly Hills. That would be like turning back time.
I don't know if anyone can do that.
Wish we could.
Wouldn't do any good. Not in our case.
I guess not. I guess we'd need a time machine.
There's a lady on the phone that wants to talk to your father.
Who is she?
She said her name is Ackerman.
Ackerman, Uncle Eddie's lawyer.
Yeah, it must be his wife. I'll talk to her in here, Lily. Hello.
Mr. Madison.
No, this is his son, Brian. My father isn't in at the moment.
Are you expecting him soon? This is Lila Ackerman, Mr. Vaughn's attorney.
You're is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Mr. Madison spoke to my husband. He probably didn't realize that I'm the attorney in the family. Anyway, I'm here at the hotel, and I'd like to talk to Mr. Madison as soon as possible.
I see. Well, I can't be sure when he'll be back. Probably not before 10, though.
Well, I might as well sit around there as this hotel room. And I do think it's important that we talk. Would it be all right if I stopped by your door at around, well, a little after 10?
Sure, Mrs. Ackerman, that'll be fine.
And I hope you'll be there too, Brian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be here.
I think it's very nice Uncle Eddie has a woman lawyer.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised, that's all. I'm surprised she flew out here this fast.
Well, we do have to decide where to bury Uncle Eddie.
She didn't have to fly out here just for that. I guess we'll see more when she gets here after 10. I just hope Dad's going to be here.
Did he say where he was going?
No.
I bet I can guess.
So can I. You know something? I don't blame him, Paige. He's been pretty shaken up by this whole thing. So has Mom, for that matter.
Good evening. Welcome to Armanda's. I have a reservation for two. The name is Lenters. Yes, of course. Show Mr. Lenters to table number 2. Come along, my dear.
Like table in the corner?
Thank you. Oh, good evening, Mr. Madison.
Nice
How are
to
you
see you.
tonight?
Fine, just fine. Listen, I hope that Armando has changed our reservation. We called a little while ago.
Oh, yes. Your table is all ready.
wonderful.
This way, please.
Okay.
In fact, Mrs. Madison is already here.
Mrs. Madden.
Owen, darling. And Deborah, how lovely you look.
No. What is this?
This, darling, is a table for 3. Please, sit down.